Bonnie and Clyde began their criminal path in 1932, when they carried out their first bank robbery. But it wasn't just about stealing money. Each robbery they committed was accompanied by extreme violence. Unlike other robbers who simply took the money and ran, they used their weapons ruthlessly, not hesitating to shoot anyone, from bank employees to police officers, in order to protect themselves and escape pursuit. One of the most prominent cases in their criminal spree was the bank robbery in Platte City, where Clyde Barrow and his accomplices faced off against the police, killing 2 officers in a tense shootout. This was just one of many incidents they were involved in. And particularly, it wasn't only about money but also because they saw gunfights as part of their life. There was only one explanation for their actions. They had no tolerance for anyone who stood in their way. What stands out in the cases of Bonnie and Clyde is the brutal nature of their crimes. They were not just professional criminals, but also individuals willing to kill to achieve their goals. Through the investigative reporting of a journalist, a clear pattern emerges in the cases they committed. They had no limits when it came to using violence. While most bank robbers would simply take the money and flee, Bonnie and Clyde went further, unhesitating to kill anyone to protect themselves, sometimes even innocent bystanders simply because they were nearby. There is even a hypothesis suggesting that their brutal actions were not only driven by a thirst for money, but also by a deep rebellion against a society they believed had abandoned them. They were young people living during the Great Depression, a time when the American economy was plummeting and poverty was widespread. Clyde Barrow, coming from a poor background, may have seen bank robbery as a means to survive or resist a system that had failed him. Moreover, the relationship between Bonnie and Clyde played a crucial role in fueling their violent actions. They were not just accomplices. They were deeply in love, and this love made them more reckless in committing crimes. Some analyses suggest that love transformed them into individuals who no longer feared death. In their eyes, there was only life and death, and nothing mattered more than being together. The robberies and killings could have been seen as tools to sustain their love and maintain a free life in a world full of injustice. However, as time passed, their actions became increasingly reckless. The bank robberies grew bolder, and their lives were no longer legendary adventures but a series of dangerous escapes. Every time they were pursued by the police, they were ready to shoot back without hesitation. They were no longer simply criminals. They had become psychological terrorists, instilling fear and terror in the hearts of those who encountered them. Ultimately, their audacity and brutality led to a tragic end. On May 23, 1934, Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed and gunned down by law enforcement in a dramatic confrontation. Their deaths were not the end of a love story but the conclusion of a criminal spree. A fitting end for individuals